Alright, so in today's video, I decided to get every single trophy on the legendary PowerWash simulator. Now, me and this game go back quite far actually because of some technical issues and problems I had while playing the game years ago, which in turn led me to making 2 videos already on this game's main trophy list and platinum. But since then, they have patched up the game quite a lot, making it playable without issue, and they threw in 6 new levels or DLC packs with 10 trophies on each of them, making up 60 new trophies, and that's officially more than the base game even has. Anyways, this is also a part of my ongoing challenge where I'm trying to 100% my profile on PlayStation, containing over 140 non-completed games, and the goal is to do it before the channel hits 1.15 million subscribers. So if you want to speed up the challenge, making it harder, then drop a like and subscribe. In total, PowerWash Simulator has 101 trophies, making it the most trophies I've ever gotten on a single game, and it took me over 30 hours more of grinding to get every single one of these DLC packs completed with. Oh my god! But starting the game's DLC off with, I just began going down the list as they were listed out in the trophies themselves, beginning with the SpongeBob DLC pack. And the way these are structured, both with the content alone and the trophies themselves, is in a cycle of 5 to 6 levels per pack, with a trophy gotten from completing each level obviously, and then another from doing a certain objective within the specific level, which happens with most levels. However, a few do not have a trophy, which is kind of odd, but overall it's really not complex at all. It's just extremely boring, grindy, and tedious. Hey, that sounds a lot like a traditional 9-to-5 job, which is exactly what this felt like. I chose to do YouTube as my career, and I'm now simulating a probably better paying occupation. What is this world we call reality? But like I was saying, I began with the SpongeBob pack, and the first level was called the Con Street Job, being the 3 major housing units from the show SpongeBob, Squidward, and Patrick's houses. But the trophy for the level was called It's Not a Builder, It's a Rock, from completing Patrick's rock, rock hinge, and rock underside as the very last 3 things in the level. So this essentially left us with just watching literally everything else until it came down to just those 3 items. And if you remember how this game works, you get a little bar on the side for the last 3 items, so as long as we are careful, this shouldn't be an issue. And for some reference into how long this game really is, because this video isn't going to relay that, I imagine, with its length, not a single level out of these 30 new levels took me under 20 minutes to complete. Every single level in this game's DLC takes at least 20 minutes to do, and some of them stretch to almost 3 hours for the longest one. WARHAMMER DLC pack, you are being listed as my reason for my depression. Oh my god! But back to the game, I ended up completing this level pretty flawlessly. It took me almost exactly an hour to do this, and I managed to get that trophy from watching Patrick's rock last, and here it is. This also finished the level obviously, so here's that trophy pop as well. The following level was then very fast, and it was about the Bikini Bottom bus having no extra trophies this time, and also being the fastest level of the DLC pack in general. Now, as I said earlier, most levels have an extra trophy. This one for some reason does not, and a few of them in this pack also don't. It's very odd how they structure this SpongeBob DLC pack compared to the others. I truly do not understand. But here's the trophy from finishing the level once I did. Moving on, and then I reached the Krusty Krab job, which consisted of us watching the Krusty Krab obviously, and the Chum Bucket. This time we did have an extra trophy, and it was from washing the Chum Bucket first. It's very easy, however it does take some time to do this obviously, you know, considering the Chum Bucket is very big and not tiny by any means. That's what she said. Once completing it first, I got the trophy, and here it is. I then just finished off the level by doing what was left in it without worrying of missing anything. I actually do have some genuine PTSD from missable trophies in this game. If you watched my original video, you know what I'm talking about. And that's also the reason as to why I have 80 hours on this game. What is my life? Jesus Christ. Anyways, as usual, here's the trophy for doing the Krusty Krab level completely. I then got to wash the Paddy Wagon next on the Paddy Wagon job. Such high level of creativity went into naming these levels, and you love to see it. Also, I do want to apologize for not censoring the word job in this video. Some of you motherfuckers need to hear it as motivation, including myself. But the extra trophy on this level was called I've Come for Your Pickle, something my weird uncle used to say to me and never elaborated on. But it was simply from completing the pickles first out of anything else in the job. Very simple, and hence the trophy name. So here's that trophy popping once I did what it asked like a good little boy. I then just finished the JOB like usual, and this one didn't take all that long, so here's the trophy popping shortly after. The second to last level in this DLC pack was then called the Invisible Batmobile Job, and I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the most annoying levels in the entirety of PowerWash Simulator, and for obvious reasons, I'm not sure I need to even explain why. The entire level is invisible. No, you're and that's cool, don't get me wrong, but on the final few parts of it, you literally cannot see what you're missing unless it's staring right in front of you. 0 out of 10, would not recommend to a friend. But once I finally stumbled into the final dirty part, I got the level done and the trophy popped from it. So the finale was then called the Mermalair job, and it had us cleaning the entire Mermalair. There was also an extra trophy on it called It's Not My Wallet, from cleaning Patrick's ID card first. Very easy and fast, and here it is. However, the rest of the level took forever. I also do think this is my longest level out of any in this DLC pack by far, and yeah, it just sucked. I don't really want to complain in this video about how boring this game is because it's quite obvious, and we are trying to be more positive on the Its Ilusion channel. So I want to say a huge shout out to the True Detective Season 1 show. I heard great things about it, so I watched it while doing most of my power washing in this video, and I gotta say, it's a banger, absolute peak fire. Legitimately one of the best shows I've ever watched. Also, huge shout out to this chick. If you've seen that one episode, then you know what I'm referencing. But hey, would you look at that, I finished the Mermalair level finally, and the trophy popped right here, finishing the SpongeBob pack off. So the next pack I chased down was the Back to the Future DLC. This is the same format as the previous one, and for the rest of them I might add. The first job had us cleaning Doc Brown's van, and it also does not have any extra trophies. Lame. That's lame. However, I will add that the most annoying part of this game in general is cleaning vehicles, just because of how many cracks and hidden parts they have. So this level was still pretty annoying because of that, but once finishing it finally, I got the trophy pop, and here it is. I then made it to the Time Machine job, which is yet again another annoying vehicle job. However, this time there was thankfully a trophy gotten on it, being called 88 miles per hour. From watching the time machine reappear. And this is also the only trophy in the entire game that is gotten after a level is done. You first have to legitimately just clean the entire job, finish the level, and also get the trophy. Then you just wait around for a few seconds in the level for the time machine to come back from wherever it went to, and the trophy is yours. A very odd trophy. I'm also not sure if this is actually missable, but hey, it is whatever, moving on. Next up, I reached the Clock Tower job, and this is one of the most annoying jobs in the game. Actually, probably the hardest out of the Back to the Future pack in my opinion. Mostly just because it's super tall and has a lot of hard to reach areas, but the extra trophy on it was also very easy, thankfully. Literally just from ringing the bell at the top of the tower, and here it is. But like I said, actually cleaning and finishing the level sucked. It took me way, and I mean way too long to do it. But like I said, this game is just boring and grindy, it's not hard. And once I did finally clean everything, I got the trophy pop right here. The next level was then called the Holomax Theater job, and there was actually 2 trophies on this level to make up for some others not having any. First being called Shark Still Looks Fake. From activating the holographic shark. All you do is find it, obviously, then activate it, again, obviously. And here's the trophy popping after I did both of those. The other side trophy was then called Back to the Theater, from cleaning the grid wall first. And like standard procedure, I just did what the trophy said. Upon cleaning the grid wall, the trophy popped. And all that was left for us was to finish the level. Again, upon doing so, the trophy from the level pops, and that's 3 trophies on 1 level. We are officially trophy farming, boys and girls, let's go. Its Ilusion will be #1 on PSN one day, for sure. Alright, moving on, my next trophy was on the final level called Doc's Time Train job. And this train one was very annoying. Yet again, like I said, the vehicles are the most annoying thing to clean, and trains are one of the worst type of vehicle to clean, making it even worse. But there was thankfully a side trophy being called This is what makes time travel possible, from cleaning the flux capacitor and particle colliders first. Big boy words, I can barely say those two. But they're also very tiny, and cleaning them was no issue. So once I did, I got the trophy. It then took me over an hour to finish this level, and I did not have a nice time. I despise power washing. I'm more of a lawn mowing kind of guy. 10,000 likes and I 100% that game next. Please, don't like the video. Don't do it. Anyways, yeah, I finished this level after a while, and I got the last trophy inside of the Back to the Future DLC pack. Moving on, and then I reached, in my honest opinion, the most annoying, grindy, and horrid DLC pack of this game. The Warhammer 40,000 Special Pack. Obviously takes place inside of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, a quarter of the internet in which I have never seen anything on besides knowing that Superman enjoys the games. Kind of a cool flex, I guess. Anyways, the reason I hate this pack so f***ing much is because almost all of it, or actually just all of it, has us cleaning vehicles, weapons, mechs, every annoying type of thing to wash normally, and then just on a massive scale. It's horrible, and I want to cry. But the first trophy I got was on the first job, being the Land Raider job, from washing the Ultramarine 2 plaque before anything else, so I did that, and here it is. I then just had to finish the level off, and it took forever, like everything else does in this godforsaken DLC pack. Upon doing so, the trophy popped, and here you go, you motherfucker. The next level was then called the Redemptor Dreadnought, and this level also had the first extra trophy that required us to use a certain nozzle for the entire level. A famous trophy type from the main game, and it really wasn't awful in this one, because they gave us the yellow nozzle, which was one of the ones I was already mainly using, so I don't really have any complaints. Now with this type of trophy, you also get both the extra one and the level completion one at the same time if you do it right, which I did, and here they are both popping after finishing the level off. The next job was then called the Rogel Dorn Battle Tank job, and the extra trophy on it was called Astra Militarima Secret Weapon. We really are just butchering every word today. God damn, I'm sick, okay? It's not my fault. I mean, it is my fault, but it's not my fault, damn it. Huh? Anyways, this extra trophy was just from cleaning a shovel before anything else. Call me a spade the way I made this trophy pop, and here it is. I then just finished the level like a good boy, and I still hate vehicles, but here's the trophy pop anyways. My second to last job in this pack then had us clean the Imperial Knight Paladin. Shout out to Paladins the game. If you know ball, you know ball. But the extra trophy on this pack was completing the Tilt Shield and Tilt Shield Purity Seals first. And I also have no clue what either of these are. If you're a Warhammer fan, I imagine you have been cringing and clenching your cheeks upon every second of this video's portion, and I do not apologize. But here is that bonus trophy pop, and then the level trophy once I did finally finish it. I'm also dying inside right now. I want to quit the power washing profession for good already. But there was one more level in this pack called the Thunderhawk Job. Also the longest level in the pack, I believe. And there was also a trophy gotten on it called Descent into Shadow, Rise into Light. I was gonna make an anal joke here, but I don't want to anymore. Anyways, the extra trophy just had us clean the thrusters first. And don't we all love thrusting? Shout out to my male audience, and here's the trophy pop. I then spent over an hour on the real level, and completing it all took a few days off my life expectancy. But once completing it, I got the trophy pop and finished the Warhammer DLC for good. We are now officially over the hill for this game's DLC trophies, being left with only 3 more packs. The Alice in Wonderland pack, the Shrek pack, and the Wallace and Gromit pack. With the next one obviously being Alice's special pack. No, I'm not gonna lie, I've actually never once seen the Alice in Wonderland movie or any media from it, but after playing its levels, I can confidently say that the writers for the story were 100% just on acid, and then they took a trip in their backyard. Because just nothing makes sense about the cinematic universe. I kinda love it though. Disney definitely needs acid brought back into the studios with some of the BS they release nowadays. But the first job had us clean the Wonderland Hall entrance. And there also was an extra trophy on it from attempting to climb out of it and end this misery early. It did not work, but the trophy did pop anyways. So yeah, I then just cleaned out the hall. And if I'm thinking real hard, this DLC pack wasn't all that bad compared to the others. I think this one and the Wallace and Gromit pack were probably the easiest ones along with the SpongeBob pack. Everything else can fuck off. So here's that first job trophy pop once I did get it done with. The next level was then on the White Rabbit's house. And the extra trophy here was from completing all the clocks on the clock wall first. And I actually did miss this trophy. Not because I didn't try to do it, but because I did and I failed. I accidentally cleaned something else while doing it. Mistakes were made. So I then just played it out and finished it getting the level completion trophy. I then restarted the level real fast in free play, and I got the trophy that I missed from it, and here it is. The next job had us clean the caterpillar's mushroom. And the extra trophy was from cleaning the cocoon last. This is also probably the most open level in the pack. The acid was being used highly in the creation of this one, boys. But seeing as this extra trophy is just a finale trophy, I had to do the entire level before getting to it. And as usual, if done right, both the extra and level completed trophy will pop at the same time once finished, and they did for me easily. I was then onto the second to last job, being the Mad Tea Party cleansing. And the extra trophy here was from balancing on the strawberry at the top of the cake for 10 seconds. Balancing is also easy because you can just stand still, so here it is once it pops. I then just cleaned out the entire level. It took me quite some time, but it wasn't hard, just a long level. Upon doing so, quite a few hours later, the trophy popped, and here it is. Now the final level is then called the Queen of Hearts Court job. And the extra trophy in this level was from rolling a pink ball on the finish heart inside of the croquette course. But you can actually just pick it up and then drop it over the finish, which is what I did, and it worked, funnily enough, getting me the trophy pop. I then spent over an hour and a half cleaning this level to completion. It wasn't really too hard, again, just to grind, and upon doing so, I got the last trophy on the Alice in Wonderland DLC pack. So moving on, the second to last pack was the Shrek one. And this is probably the only media in the entire DLC of PowerWash Simulator in which I know everything about. Shrek is life, as we all know. But unfortunately, this pack is also torture. And the first level in it took me like 3 hours to do, and I want to cry. It was awful. The Duloc job, as they say, consisting of cleaning the entire entrance of the castle. It's long, as you can imagine. But hey, there was thankfully an extra trophy on it, and it was just from interacting with the information stand from the movies. Once doing so, I got the trophy and then endured so much torture. To the point where I even stopped playing this game for a day because I just could not stand the power of the washing anymore. It broke me, it truly did. But once I did come back, you know, I locked in, and it did still take me hours to finish the level. Upon finally doing so, the trophy popped, and I don't feel good about myself. Job 2 was then on the Hansel Honeymoon Hideaway, the compound, if you will. And the extra trophy I got to here was just from sitting in the onion carriage for 30 seconds. Seemed like forever, so I don't know what she is complaining about, but here's the trophy pop once I did. I then just cleaned this level completely. It was actually super super simple and not a hard one by any means. So here's that trophy popping. Level 3 was then the infamous Shrek swamp job, cleaning out good old Shrek Boy's swamp, and it really wasn't awful. I can't imagine how every fairy tale creature fit in here. I could barely fit in myself. But the extra trophy was from cleaning the outhouse door and door handle first, so I did that. I then just cleaned the entire place. Gotta support my boy Shrek. I stare at Donkey every day, so we are basically family. Once doing the level completely, the trophy popped, and here it is. I then made it to the second to last level, being the Fairy Godmother's Potion Factory. And this level actually did take a long time to do. As you can imagine, I mean, just look at this fucking place we are in right now. I thought this was supposed to be magic, not capitalism, goddammit. Anyways, the extra trophy was just from running on the wheel inside for 20 seconds. Very easy, but kind of weird how it tracks, and ultimately just sat there for way longer than 20 seconds before it worked. But hey, it finally did, and here's the trophy popping. Now, like I hinted at, this level took a long time to do, and I wasn't joking, it took forever. I also still hate myself. But once I did finish it, after losing all hope at a better future, I got the trophy pop, and here it is. The final level in the Shrek pack was in on the Dragon's Lair. And the bonus trophy was from cleaning these things called Gallery Tapestries Last, which were just little paintings of swords off to the back of the level, and I actually marked them up to remind myself not to clean them as I did just go do the rest of the level. And as we all know by now, with these types of trophies, if you do them right, you get the extra trophy and the level completion trophy at the same time, which I did do, and here they both are popping. Gosh, I'm so freaking good at power washing. Maybe now my father will love me. Alright, so we finally, and I mean finally, reached the last DLC pack, the Wallace and Gromit levels. Now, being an American and also not up to my pop culture references, I have no clue what this is, like literally zero clue at all. I have never once heard of a Wallace or a Gromit, aside from this one film account I follow on Twitter, always breaking character over having a new release. So it must be somewhat good, I guess. Anyways, the first level was just from cleaning the dining room and kitchen of this universe's character's house, I guess. And the extra trophy here was from cleaning the toy train first. Very easy, and here it is. The actual level itself was also very simple and not hard by any means. Upon finishing both the dining room and kitchen, the trophy then popped. You then head outside for the second job and just clean the house itself. So yeah, the extra trophy here was just from rolling a football to this pond thing, which you can then flip over and then drop the ball into the abyss for the trophy. I then just finished the house job. It took a while, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not hard, and here's that trophy afterwards. You then have to clean the Knit-O-Matic and some other things on the next job. The extra trophy here was from activating the auto wash, which is very easy, and here it is. But the level itself was actually quite long because you had to clean the entire buildings insides. Not a fun time, but I started watching Twisted Metal Season 2 on Peacock, one of the best video game TV shows I've ever seen. Season 1 slapped, and 2 was pretty much the same vibe, so I would recommend. But once finished with the level, Troy popped, and here it is. My second to last level in this entire DLC of PowerWash Simulator was in about the vehicles of Wallace and Gromit's universe. These motherfuckers had a whole ass plane. I didn't know Gromit had motion like that. Anyways, the level was pretty quick. The extra trophy was just from cleansing these trousers first, and here's that popping. I then just finished the level a few minutes later, and here's that trophy as well. Moving on to the finale, the moon rocket job, also the most annoying job out of this DLC pack, only because the fucking rocket is bright orange, and when you press the D-pad to highlight the dirty areas, it shows up as yellow, so you can barely tell from afar what you're missing, and this just made it very annoying. That's all I have to say. But the trophy here was from cleaning all the paintings in the rocket before anything else, and at this point I was also a power washing pro, so doing this was no issue, and here's the trophy pop. And then the final trophy of Power Wash Simulator from just completing the moon rocket job, obviously. And as I said, the fact that the level was bright orange and the dirt blends in made this very annoying. Not a happy ending, if you will. They apparently also don't do those at this massage place I went to, and I had an awkward Monday night yesterday. But hey, I did finally finish the level, and I got the final trophy of Power Wash Simulator right here. 101 trophies finished. I never want to wash something again with power, that is. So yeah, overall that sucked. I'm not hating on the game. I think Power Wash Simulator is a very good and very well made simulator game. It's just the premise is so boring. But I guess I did get to watch some good TV shows while making this video. We take our wins where we can get them. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching, boys, and I got more stuff on the way with some new games coming out in October and some unexpected videos soon, so stay tuned, please.